Good evening, and welcome to another World of Warships video with Captain Darkwing Glacier. In this battle, I'm taking out my Tier VIII German battleship, the Bismarck. The Bismarck turned out to be a very fun ship to play for me. It's the first ship that I built into a complete secondary build, and after hearing lots of good stuff about it, I started working my way up the German battleship line, and I got as far as the Kaiser, and I was just about to get the König when there was the Bismarck campaign that allowed people to earn the Bismarck after completing a bunch of missions. So I quickly stopped playing my other German BBs and started playing the Bismarck as fast as I could, or rather trying to play through the campaign so I could get the Bismarck as fast as I could. And once I did that, I started piling as much experience as possible into my new Bismarck captain so I could get that secondary build going, and I was very excited when I finally got enough captain points to get manual secondaries, and then I could see the magic that these secondaries can do. The change between the accuracy in the secondaries that are standard compared to when you actually have manual secondaries is pretty astonishing, and it's just very satisfying to watch yourself close into range of an enemy battleship. Say you only have to get within 11.3 kilometers once you have advanced firing training and the secondary module on the ship, and then you just designate them and just watch the fireworks, and while that's going on you can look at another target if you want. In any case, you'll be whittling him down from the beginning. So one of the things I like to do with my Bismarck is, get to within secondary range as soon as possible, because enemy destroyers will see you coming and they'll know that they'll need to stay away from you, because you also have the hydroacoustic ability that can dodge their torpedoes, and the Bismarck can bully caps that way. You have DDs trying to hide in those caps and fight off the enemy DDs, but then when there's a Bismarck in there too, all of a sudden the odds suddenly go against them. So in this battle, I decide I'm just going to go right into D and basically dare any enemy destroyers, or the enemy team in fact, to try to get me out of there. So already there's some torpedoes coming in, and those are deep water torpedoes, so I need to be aware of those. I don't see... Okay, there is a Sims on the left side of the cap, but I focus my secondaries on the Gneisenau, and I'm just going to pick on him as much as I can, because he seems to be trying to fight his way in here too, and in a Bismarck I'm not afraid of a Gneisenau. He does have torpedoes, but as long as I'm aware of that and plan for it, Gneisenau should not be any difficulty for me. So one thing a Bismarck could do, and I've designated my secondaries on the Sims over there, because that's one of the things you have to do when you have manual secondaries. You need to constantly be alert on targets, and as soon as one target fades away and is no longer visible, you've got to designate that next one fast and keep those secondaries firing as much as possible. But one of the things that people frequently do when they try to bully their way into caps, especially bow tanking ships, is that they'll get in the cap and then they'll just stop and just wait for someone to push them out. Now that is something that always makes me feel uncomfortable, because as I'm just sitting there waiting for something to happen, I feel like I've given up the initiative to the enemy team, and a DD can sneak around a flank, or they can just line up torpedoes on you, or if there's a carrier, you're just basically a sitting duck. So I like to keep moving as much as possible. I keep my secondaries going, I constantly change my course, my speed, and as you can see, I'm kind of going in like a circular pattern here, and I'm probably going to reverse direction in a minute, and constantly throwing off the enemy's aim, because DD's going to have a hard time getting torpedoes off on you, or an enemy Gneisenau for that matter, if you're constantly changing your course and you're circling all over the place. So here are some torpedoes coming in. I'm going to see if I can find my way through the gap. I think those are from the Sims, so they're going to be very slow moving. I may end up taking one torpedo, but that's okay. I'll take it on the belt if I can, or I can just evade it entirely. See, now I'm probably going to designate the Sims again, and I'm detected, but and there's a ton of ships over here. There's the Sims, there's Cleveland, there's Alabama, there's a York, there's a Gneisenau, and it looks like another DD. I think that's a Fushun. So there are plenty of ships here. Okay, the Gneisenau just went down to the Farragut, and now I'm beginning another turn, so I'm kind of almost doing a figure eight in the middle of the cap. And I'm not that detected. I got 2 fires on me now, so I kick off my repair party, and I'm constantly on the lookout for torpedoes. There's the Fushun. But the thing is I'm not remaining static. I'm constantly maneuvering within the cap to basically scare them out of position so they can't just sit there and hide all game, while at the same time I am constantly maneuvering into position where I can fire upon the enemy. There's something to be said for not remaining static, for having a more dynamic bullying of the cap, because they know I'm just on the loose around here, just going in circles, shooting at targets of opportunity. I could have just sat south of the island at the bottom of the cap and done nothing, but this has basically forced that Fushun to move. There's that Cleveland right behind this island that's probably going to get the heck out of there. And there's the York. The thing is, essentially, by the fact that I've been slowly moving forward, I've been pushing them out of the cap, and it's now ours. If I held back, they probably would have sat tight as well. So here's the Cleveland, very close range. I basically had forced him out, because if he didn't move, I would have come around the island and gone after him. So I made him come out of position, and now I can just tear him apart. He's attempting to angle on me. My secondaries are just chewing him up. My teammates are also shooting on him too. And here I make a small miscalculation as I run into the island. The Cleveland is trying to come in for the ram now, but nothing doing. I'm able to take him out with a fortuitous blast of my rear turrets. And here's the enemy Fushun, who's close, and he's probably going to be launching torps at me. And I fortunately do have that dead Cleveland right next to me, so I kick off my airplane, because I'm going to be on the lookout for those torpedoes, and here they come. I'm going to take at least one here. And I take 2 torpedoes, which takes me down a lot of health. But that could have been much worse. So my Hydra's about to come back up again. I'm constantly looking for other targets, seeing where the nearest threats are. There's the Miyoko. He's out of secondary range. Now my first thought is I got to get out of this position and get back into some cover, because now I'm kind of too extended. And there's too many enemies who are all looking at me at once. So that Alabama is behind me, and he takes a bunch of torpedoes from one of my allies. I wonder if that's the Otago or if it's somebody else. So I kick off my Hydro as soon as possible. I'm turning to get behind islands again. My secondaries are chewing away at the Alabama. And I'm able to take down an enemy aircraft as well. I switch targets to the York, who's showing a little bit too much broadside. Looks like he's trying to angle, but he isn't quite as angled as much as he should be. My health is not doing so good, but now I'm behind the islands once again. There's the Fushun. So I think I'm going to designate him with my secondaries. Yep. That's just the instant a better target comes along, or another target, or your original target gets behind cover or disappears, you've got to switch that secondaries as fast as possible. And the Alabama, trying to get out of there, exposes some broadside and able to take him out and get kill number 2. Fortunately, I survived long enough to kick off my repair party again, get some health back. And now I'm constantly looking for targets. Okay, there's the York. He's showing way too much broadside again. He's just outside of secondary range at this point, but I'm constantly looking for another target to identify, or to designate for my secondaries. So I'm trying to maneuver behind this island over here, buy some time to get some health back. Looks like our teammates have done very well over at A, and they've driven the enemy completely away, and now we're taking over B cap as well, and the enemy is just fleeing from their advance. So there I spot the York. The enemy loses their Nagato. We're only down 2 ships. They've already lost 7. So we're in pretty good shape. But the thing that really won us this cap was the fact that, you know, I had some good teammates who were holding their own, and I just drove into that cap. This wasn't a YOLO type attack. I didn't just plow into the open around them. I just kept maneuvering, using islands, and whenever an enemy spotted, whenever I spotted an enemy from behind an island, I designated him, picked on him for a bit, and then I moved on to the next one depending on where I was moving. It wasn't where, this isn't just like an open water charge right at the enemy. I was making use of the cover, and this forced them to be unable to sit tight, because normally people, when they try to take a cap like that, they'll park behind an island and they'll wait for their teammates to do something. And I decided that, you know, the person who was going to do something on my team was going to be me. I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to force them to make a move. And in forcing them to make a move, they exposed themselves and we were able to take them out. So I get a secondary kill on the Atago over there. Or is that the Miyoko? Either way, now they only have a York left. They have the Fushun, who is close by, and I designate him immediately. The York goes down. They only have 2 ships left. This is not going to last much longer, and it's really just time for mop-up. So I take a quick shot, and I get kill number 4. So not quite a Kraken, but I did pretty well in this game, and kind of shows you how you can bully a cap without getting yourself killed. I mean, I did make a mistake. Unfortunately, it didn't get me killed, but there you go. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video.